Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is me, Waddles, and welcome back to Minecraft Survival. At the very end of the last episode, when we were building the Basalt Beauty, I realized we're at a very significant milestone in the world. It is now day 1,500. Over the course of this world, we've done tons of really cool builds and made a lot of progress. I think, at this point, this is my longest survival world ever. In honor of that milestone, today we're going to switch it up and take a look back. 1,500 days of Minecraft survival. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy. This is what it looks like. But really quick, before you get comfy, drop a like on this video. You dropping a like on this video is equivalent to I don't know, doing the best thing of all time. Saving a cat from, I don't know, just saving a cat. So I figured the best approach for this episode would be like a nostalgia trip. We go back to the very start, we reminisce a little bit, and then we eventually reminisce our way back over to the base. That means, for the first time in literally forever, we need to go back to spawn and check it out. I'll meet you there. Spawn, sweet spawn. Or, at least I think it's spawn is, no, maybe not. Here we go, spawn, sweet spawn. This stony patch over here is where we begun this world 1,500 days ago. When I started this world, it was in version 1.0. Sorry. We started this survival world in 1.18. This was right after the Caves and Cliffs update dropped. There was the new mountains. It was beautiful. It was exciting. The seed for this world is, well, I'm not going to tell you right now. I'll tell you later in the video. Stick around. I remember when I started this world, we went from that patch and then we moved over here, and I think I have my first settlement sitting right over here somewhere. I don't know if the chest is even here anymore, but it was somewhere. It was somewhere over here. It's on the thumbnail of episode 1. Somewhere right over in here. I must have moved it by now, but yeah, settlement number 1 was sitting right in here. Now, I don't know if I ever told you guys about this one, but when we first started this world, I almost lived right over at spawn. See, I think this is 500 blocks from spawn. You get this beautiful calcite mountain right here, and I was obsessed with the Stony Peaks biome at first. The only construction that I constructed, there it is. Oh my gosh, there it is. Do I have anything in it? Oh wow, I have a lot here. Oh my gosh, I could have a tough block. I could have obsidian, and even spider eye. Wow. Anyways, the only thing we built over here out of spawn is Sweet Donna. Oh, Sweet Donna. Constructed tall and strong and resembling the shape of something else. Anyways, that's just about it, lads. We'll leave spawn before we get demonetized. So after being at spawn for a little while, I broke out into the ocean. One of the easiest places to explore early game. Exploring along the ocean, there was lots and lots of warm biomes like the savanna. I knew for sure that I didn't really want to live in the savanna in this world because, it's kind of disgusting. I did it once before and I regretted it ever since. Anyways, one of my most sentimental moments of all time is this moment right here. It was actually shown off at, I think, the very first Minecraft Now show. Drenching myself entirely in those nostalgic feels. Minecraft Now, 2021, December or something. A beautiful moment. I was sailing in and I found this beautiful sight of a mountain. I still think this is one of the best mountains that I've ever seen in 1.18 generation. It's just so perfect, and even more so now that we have all of these builds sitting here going up the mountain. I knew as soon as I saw this mountain that this was going to be the forever base. One thing that I didn't know at first is when I saw this mountain, I thought that I was going to build way more up on top of the mountain. With that in mind, I climbed up to the top of the mountain and built the starter ship over here. My favorite ship, I think to this day, that I've ever built in Minecraft still. The starter ship. I knew I had to do something big for this one, and I wanted to do something big. This was the first series of Minecraft that wasn't the Minecraft guide on this channel, or at least the first main series that wasn't the guide in a long time. I wanted to do something impressive, so I built this giant flying ship up here, and slowly, over the course of a couple episodes, we stocked it up with more things on the deck. Nowadays, I don't come up to the ship as much anymore because it's kind of out of the way, but still, easily, one of my favorite builds in this entire world. We got the back room with Ned over here. Ned is our first friend in the world, and just trust me. I come and talk to Ned all the time. I think this bed up here, oh yeah, cool trident. I think this bed, first diamond by the way, I think this bed is maybe the first red bed of the world too. Over the course of this world, 1,501 days now, we actually haven't done as much exploring as you would think. We have explored a lot, and I found that really cool biome. But there are actually still quite a few biomes that I have never found before. 40 out of the 52. I don't know. Maybe we should try and check that off the list soon. From the starter ship, right off the bat, I wanted to get an iron farm going in this world. So I built one right up here by taking villagers from this village right over there. Now, initially, I actually planned on doing more things up on top of the mountain. I thought it would be cool to, like, build an iron farm and then maybe build, like, a village or just some kind of snowy build, but I didn't have the blocks at the time that I wanted to use to build it. I remember I think I wanted to build it with, like, warped wood or something up here at the time. I thought it would blend in, but yeah, like I said, never got around to it. Moving down the mountain, we've got the first build where I tried to just be, like, creative with things. I wanted to come up with a cool build that was kind of iconic on the side of the mountain. I came up with the 4 faces of Mount Goldmore. And then, of course, behind the faces of Mount Goldmore, we've got the actual goat farm, which I, like, never check out. Put it on the to-do list. I transform this thing into a goat horn farm. Ow. Hey, excuse me. After that, we go ahead and wind down the mountain, and this is where I started kind of expanding around the mountain. The idea, the concept here with this world was to get a ton of builds in around the mountain and, like, build things up. Slowly, that's kind of what we started to do. I moved down the mountain and built a PP Temple over there, for pure profit, of course. Right out from PP Temple, we've got the food farm that is supplying this world to this very day. It's an automatic potato farm, really beautiful, really great. In the recent survival episode where we took a look at must-have survival farms, that's on the list for sure. Today we're obviously going to tour everything, like that's the plan, but I like to spend a little bit more time on things that maybe you haven't seen as much or at least seen lately. One thing that I haven't been over to in like a long time is the enchanting cave. I haven't been up here because the armor is like, it's in a pretty good situation. It's like almost finished, but enchanting cave. I set this thing up with the idea of like a great view and oh my gosh, wow. The view has changed so much since I come up here last. Like, I think the last time I look out here was like before that farm was built over there. And yeah, it's a view. You can see like everything here. Beautiful. One thing that I still haven't done is finish building all the way around the mountain. And my vision initially was we'd have the mountain and we'd have builds on every side. This side just has that early tree farm that we were using when we moved over here. And I mean, I guess the end temple, but not really much else. Now, speaking of that empty side of the mountain, we've got a fun little build that I set up over here when we were doing the Mob Boat 2022 stuff. For Mob Boat 2022, I was actually in love with all of the mob concepts, so I decided, heck, why not build them in a world? I built the Rascal over there, I built the Sniffer right there, and then I built the Tough Golem right over there. I mean, they ended up, right? Like, how good would it be to have a Sniffer farm right there just flexing in front of the other ones? Maybe one day. Along the bay over here, we've got the End Temple, dedicated to the end, right after we did that. And then we've got the AI build, entirely designed by Dali. Like I've done in all of my tours, the episode numbers have been popping up on screen. If you want to check out each build in a little bit more detail, check out the episodes after the tour. It's in the playlist. It'll be on the end card. The first experience farm that powered this world, or at least I think it was the first experience farm, was this spider farm down here. Shortly after I moved over to the mountain when we were caving, we found the spider spawner. So I added a couple water sources to it and voila, simple farm. From the spider spawner, we've got this like raw, roughed up path that leads over to a little bit more of a proper path. This path, I kind of think of this as like the main street in this world. Off of this road, we have like major builds that we check out a lot. We've got the axolotl aquarium right there, always in the background with every type of axolotl, even the rare one. And then behind us, we've got the bee farm, sheep farm, multi-farm, combined with a kelp farm on the end that I built and then never used. When I built this kelp farm, I actually wanted to use the dried kelp block as a roof block. And it's probably overflowing. Big time. Definitely. This build was an interesting one. It is meant to be like a Tudor style build with like the dark wood and then almost like the wood outlines and everything. This is the Vine multi-farm build. I had a lot of fun designing this build. Really, really nostalgic for me. I don't know, something about certain builds in this world, like working on them, it's just like stored more accurately in my memory, I guess, if that makes sense. And then other ones are like a little bit more like blocked out and like not remembered. One of the iconic builds of this world that I have fully blocked out, I don't want to remember it, it was so annoying, is the world record beetroot farm. At one point, this was the world's biggest beetroot farm. 200 by 200 block of beetroot. I think since then, some people have gotten sneaky, clever with it, but I still did it alone. I still did it in 100% survival. There's proof of it in the episode. I went crazy, and yeah, this was like the biggest project. And also the one thing that keeps me from like abandoning this world. Not that I want to, like, I love the world, but like, how can I leave the world with a project like this, right? A little bit less massive, but still kind of big, is this wheat field over here. I set this wheat field up a little bit earlier on in the world, and then I ended up expanding it at one point to fill up the space a little bit more. We've got the... Wait a second. Oh no, oh no, oh no. The windmill. I mean, I guess it probably happened when I unloaded it, but the windmill, it runs. There's a redstone machine that I designed over there that spins in a circle. Oh man. The windmill marks a very, very cool build. Down here at the bottom of this thing is my prized possession, my child, the amethyst farm. Oh, it's beautiful. Anytime I need this stuff, I come down here and I can silk touch it. I haven't used it in a while. It kind of just sits down here and is waiting to be harvested, but it's pretty cool. It looks into a big cave that I have some really cool ideas for. And kind of top secret stuff, so I can't tell you about it, but I want to come back and do that later. One thing that I can't pinpoint anymore is the exact order that we did things. So like, for example, I know the windmill thing is a lot newer. I think that was after 1.19 dropped, but like over here, all over the mountain, I kind of just like slowly started building things. At one point, we built the villager curing lab. This is a pretty neat build. It's essentially a build with a zombie inside of it and a build that is hooked up to the villager breeder. I could send a villager over to this thing, put it in there, and then basically like push the zombie into the villager, cure the villager up, get better trade prices. It's not something that we've really used quite yet though, actually. I think I had pushed back the villager projects at the time because 1.19 was getting close, or at least I like thought it was getting close, and then I think like 1.19 kept like not coming out and not coming out and not coming out or something like that. Eventually though, once 1.19 came out, I knew deep within my soul that the very first thing I was gonna need to do involved snow. No. I have powder snow all over the mountain. I forgot about that. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I need to get out. All right. Yep. Powder snow. I left powder snow all over the mountain, which is not ideal when you're flying around and then you fall into the mountain. Whoops. However, all over the mountain, or at the very top of the mountain, I left my very best good friend over here, the warden. I have a warden trapped, captured, right there in the mountain. I can't get too close because it will smell me and try and kill me mercilessly. Oh, darkness, yep. Yeah, there's a warden right there. You know what I mean? Yep, that's a warden, and I shouldn't have flown. Oh my gosh, that's so dangerous. Huh? Oh, okay, yeah. I almost, just fell into a thing and would have died. Whoops. Day 1502. 0 deaths in this world. Getting the warden inside of this thing was the thing that got me closest to death in this world, though. The warden is so dangerous. Basically, I pulled the warden from a cave that is like over here underneath the mountain and lured it all the way up there, sent it up with a bubble column. Down here inside of this cave is the farm that we were just checking out in the must-have farm episode. You can see the warden farm from right here, or at least the elevator part of it. Absolutely amazing. I did a tutorial on it too. I mean, what's a bigger flex than farming at ease? One of the things that you should definitely not be able to farm, and by far, Minecraft's most dangerous thing. Yeah, to be honest, I don't know if there's a bigger flex. Now, speaking of villagers, we were talking about those a second ago. Let's go back to that. Over here, we've got the chateau with the only, I think it's the only villagers in this world that I've really like done much with. Got the mending villager in here. We got Olarath. One of these villagers is named Olarath, the unbreaking one. And then the mending villager right there. Don't remember what I named you, but mending. That's pretty cool. For me, I'm all about the views. I wonder what the view from this building is like now. I guess I can't see too much, but yeah, that's definitely different since the last time we saw it. Got a sugarcane farm right there. That's different. It all comes back to me. It all comes back to me. One of the first things that we did over here was this farm. This is the giant potato field that is filled with carrots in the world. It was basically a build that I set up on the horizon of the world, thinking like, oh, if I'm building over there, I have this cool backdrop of like a really cool house and like carrots. And yeah. This was one of the first things we did over here. It was also, I think, the first like bigger farm that I set up over here. I mean, it's not like the biggest thing compared to the beet farm, but yeah, you see, it's like cool on the horizon. Fun shape. One thing that we did a whole lot more recently that I consider the centerpiece of the world in a way, and only because it's like right at the center, is this farm over here. We set up an animal farm, and the trees are actually still growing. I haven't really been in the overworld recently, but it's a farm with a barn. Inside of the barn, we've got the horses in the world. Oh, sweet, beautiful. Cab. Cab is your name. We got Cab over here. Cab's wife is one of the skeleton ones, and yeah, it's beautiful. Over here on the outside, we've got all the other like basic passive mobs that I found here. We got cows, we got sheep, we got chicken. There's even a couple pigs in here. pretty nice. And apparently there are bees. I don't know where you came from. I don't think they will spawn after World Gen. Oh, the tree grew with a bee nest. Oh, the amazing discovery. Beautiful discovery. Oh my gosh, you did it. Wow. So you're new, friend. Hi, I'll call you, Walter the Third. I swear I have a couple other Walters in this world, so the third should do. Nice to meet you. Tucked behind the centerpiece, we've got a small path that runs through the forest that I'm still working on growing that goes over to the mangrove farm. This mangrove farm is a mangrove beauty. Anytime I need mangrove beautiful, I come over to the mangrove beauty and harvest the mangrove beautiful. It's pretty simple. I turn the water on to pick up all of the drops and oh my gosh, mangrove beauty. I think I'm in love with mangrove wood. I've said that before. Granny's Pumpkin Pie Shop, the Halloween build that I built in this world this past year. You know, I think it's finally time, long overdue, that we build a little bit of pumpkin pie. So, sugar, the pumpkin, and eggs, I think is a recipe for pumpkin pie. I built this farm, kind of like more as like a just for fun thing around the holidays, but I was thinking maybe eventually I could switch over to pumpkin pie if I wanted to, for like long-term food. Nowadays, now that we're working in the nether though, I think I have a better idea. So there's a little bit of lore going on in this world. It's tucked inside of the episodes. Some of the lore is more obvious. Some of it's buried in there. Maybe you caught it. But this is directly tied to the lore of the world. There was a crime, an incident that happened. And over here, I've got the guards keeping them in line. And then I've got the delinquents, we'll call them. The delinquents over here inside of the jail. This is where I send them when they're not good. I believe I have another guard stationed outside, somewhere wandering around here, just to make sure they don't get away. I wouldn't want them escaping and maybe corrupting the world, right? Speaking of lore, at one point my evil twin got into the world, and I think the evil twin constructed this strange Great Sphinx monument right there. It's next to the strange stalker. These two fellas are actually interdimensional beings that, to be honest, not sure how they actually got here. Inside of this one, as you can see, there was, we will say, an occasion. A highly illegal occasion. This build over here, can't talk about it too much because it's becoming nighttime, and nighttime is dangerous, but this is by far the most dangerous build of the entire world. It's not good. I mean, I like the build, but like, the danger is not good. One thing that I've successfully created over here at this base is essentially a fully safe base. I can leave it nighttime in this world and wander around and not really have to worry about it. If I leave it nighttime for long enough, phantoms will start to spawn, and then I can actually use this phantom farm up here. I haven't really messed with phantoms in a while, but the phantoms will fly in here, get trapped, and then I can swing my sword and take them out. It's pretty wonderful. So far, we've been checking out a lot of the build. I think it's time. Like, we're definitely over halfway done. The world seed of this world. Beautiful. And the coordinates of the base. Right there, if you want to come over here and build your own base. If you do end up doing that, though, a special request, screenshots on r/waddles. Any screenshots, I gotta see them. Now over here, we've got the quarry. The quarry was a fun little, not fun, project. Project is another one that I blacked out. I basically took 2 chunks and dug them all the way down to the bottom of the world to... I actually don't remember exactly why. I think it was like to use up the space here or something, but... yeah, it was a lot of mining. This is a quick way down, and then there's a quick way up right over here. This storage building in the world is a coliseum. I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to have something that I could get into from the sky. So I designed the coliseum, and I built the coliseum. And Red is the beautiful princess of the world, you could say. That's Red. And then the storage building. I still haven't even come anywhere close to filling this thing up. It's insane. You got a kind of a cool view over here of the jail and the great wheat field monster. It's pretty cool. This is by far my biggest storage building that I have ever built. I've got this whole top deck up here, so I will never run out of space. But I haven't even even fully used up the lower deck, so it's kind of crazy. The cool thing about this build without the ceiling is you can see other builds, like the warden's thing over there, and then the warden's observatory, which is right over here, next to, yellow, the bravest yellow. I miss yellow. You can get to this build on foot from the goat farm. If we walk along the mountain over here, we'll find a holding pen for one of the frogs. We might use those soon. And you get the observatory. The detail work that I did in the observatory is some of my favorite in this world. It's not much, but we got a solar system up in the ceiling. It's kind of cool. Inside of this thing, we've got some like weird science stuff going on. It's pretty cool. And then like a little bit of just storage, decoration, a science lab. The main thing the warden observatory is for, though, is observing the warden. From this thing, you could just sit up here and observe. It's like kind of perfect. You can see the warden in plain, clear sight. You could also see a lot of the world. Again, with the views of this world, I'm all about it. Ever since 1.18, I feel like you have to dedicate some of the builds to, like, just looking around the world, the aesthetics, you know, things like that. Speaking of looking around the world, the aesthetics, that was for every 1.18 advancement. We got that in this world. This thing over here, it's obviously for gunpowder, for creepers. Anytime I need more rockets or just gunpowder in general, I come up here. Seems that this farm also spawns spiders and spider jockeys in it too. Again, with the views, really, really cool mountain, super steep too, and then our mountain over there beautifully with all of the builds. Now, at this point, I think we've checked out most of the overworld builds over here. Other than the 1.19 starter base, the mud factory, and Basalt Brothers. I think we've touched on most of it. Oh, and a bone meal farm. A bone meal. It's something I use a lot of in this world. Over the course of this world, I feel like I've gotten a lot better at the game. Like building, just planning, you know, things in general. One thing that I've definitely learned from this world is trees. Trees are so important in making a base feel cozy and making a base feel alive. In order to build more of those trees and just use plants and bone meal in general, we got a bone meal titan. It's a 4-way bone meal farm that works pretty well. So this world, this has been through a couple updates. Like I said at the beginning, we started in 1.18. By the time 1.19 came around and dropped, we were already over at the mountain, but it was time for a fresh start. So time for a fresh start, what I ended up doing is I locked all of the tools away and I had to earn them back by completing a couple challenges. And then I also built a starter house in honor of one of the most beautiful things in the update. We also have a friend over there just waiting. And then we have another friend over there also waiting for trials. So they kind of exist. Come to think of it, I don't know how I stopped the Guardian from despawning. It must be like name tagged or something. I don't really exactly remember, but yeah. Anyway, starter house over here, beautiful build, very compact, detailed inside too. Over here, we've got the industrial zone. We've got the sugarcane titan right over there. We've got the mud machine right in here. I used that one pretty recently. And then we've got, oh, sad moment. Oh, so sad. We got Basalt Brothers. Oh my gosh, it's so sad. I can't hold myself together. Forever closed. Thanks for 1 year of business. Basalt Brothers was the premium basalt supplying company before it was put out of business recently. If you needed basalt, this was the place to go. A one-stop shop for all. You got basalt over there. You got basalt right in here. It's beautiful. And they thrived for long. Not so long, but they thrived for long. It's kind of sad. So basically, finally over here, at least I think, is one of my prized possessions of the world. If I could pick a couple things that I feel like are iconic about this world that I'm in love with, one of them has got to be right there. Terry, sweet Terry. Terry is the location of the nether portal over here, and it's a gigantic dinosaur. I mean, literally, what is not to love about this thing? I predicted the sniffer with this. Okay, that's a stretch. I predicted the sniffer with this build right here. I mean, it's a dinosaur skull sitting at the peak of the mountain right here. You see it as soon as you move into the bay. You got the teeth. You got the nether portal. You got particles all around it. Oh, it's beautiful. Now, it's time for us to move into the nether for some other things. The nether is going to be a little bit more of a quickie for us because this is where we're currently working. We've seen it a lot. We've got the Blaze Farm over there. The Blaze Farm is by far my premium experience farm in the world. Then we've got a tall ladder. We climb this tall ladder up to the newly expanded nether hub. Now this is a work in progress. WIP for short. We're still working on that, so we'll come back to that. A lot more finished is... Oh. Wow, this is awkward. I was trying to say a lot more finished is my nether highway system. It's a great system. It's got packed ice all over the place and stops at every single nether biome. I like to flex it. Nether biome is not all though. It also stops at a couple other cool places. We gotta check them out. On a list of cool places, this is least or last in a cool place list, but it is like kind of nice. And apparently, I guess it's like a fish farm too. I don't know how the axolotls got out of their containing cells, but they're out and they're farming fish for me over here. This was originally where I was going to farm axolotl repeatedly because of warm ocean until I get those blue axolotl. Then I think I was gonna like hold them here and have this full of axolotl. Would have been really cool, but I found out that they were like getting out of the fences somehow, and so essentially I just moved the axolotl. I got a little bit of a setup going on over here with a couple mob heads, and that's really it. There's not much going on. Back inside of the nether, climbing a ladder for a long ways, jumping inside of a boat, and then sailing for a long ways, we find ourselves over at the next stop. This next stop is way more exciting and actually pretty recent. I think we built it like 5 episodes ago. Here we have the world's most colorful, and actually one of the world's best slime farms in existence. It is so simple too. So to use this farm, all I would have to do is AFK on that platform for a little while during the daytime. During the daytime, the slime will spawn inside of this thing and get lured over to the iron golems. Then whenever I'm ready to quit for the day, I jump down into the water down below this farm and check out the chests. And inside of the chests, it's like so much slime, and it's so easy too. Funny thing about this farm is I built 4 tiles of it, but that is like overkill. There is no way I am ever going to need all the slime that this farm produces. It's actually absolutely insane. But it's pretty easy to build too. You set this up in your own world and you will never run out of slime ball again. It's pretty great. And so, lads, laddies, everybody, we've just about done it. So I have a question for you. Which build is your favorite build in this entire world? You let me know about it down below. Taking that nether hub hallway straight back down this way to the nether hub, we have the most recent project. This room, however, it's a little bit more antique. This is Nether Hub Central Station, or something like that. If I need to go anywhere in the nether, the journey begins right here. We've got the commuter drop-off section, where I would land the boats, and apparently other people take my rides. Don't know what that's about, but fair enough. I hate January. It's freezing in this month. It's by far my least favorite month. Because it's so cold, I decided to switch things up and get a little bit warm. We've got a Nether Hub project that we've been working on. Here we've got the future central room. In the central room, we've got the quick and easy way up onto the nether ceiling. On the nether ceiling, right now we've got nothing, but I'm definitely planning on coming back and building some really cool farms here. We've got a quick way down right there. It's pretty nice. Recently, very, very recently, we have a brand new basalt titan in the world, the basalt beauty itself. To use this thing, that's all I gotta do. Mine the basalt, get it started, let it run, and it produces basalt and basalt and basalt. Anytime I need basalt, I just move in here and mine the basalt. It's gonna be so nice to have. And so that's just about it. The whole tour today, cracked up and finished. You might be wondering what scent inspired the tour today. Nostalgia for fall. A candle called Fall Morning. Crisp fall morning. I miss the fall time. I really hate January, guys. So after you've seen them all, which build is your favorite? Did I miss a build? And what build do I need to build next? Let me know down below. In the next episode, we'll be returning to the Nether Hub saga with some pretty cool farms. Maybe some you haven't seen before too. So get ready for that. I'd like to send a big thank you to my patrons, Noodle Pork, Swoopy Louvers, Bill W, and Tanner B. For early access to every single one of these survival episodes, check out my Patreon. It's linked down below. Leave a like if you like the tour, and definitely subscribe for more episodes. There's at least one every week. 1,500 days of Minecraft survival. Will probably look something like that. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.